What's up, big man in the room? We're back on YouTube. So today I'm coming with interesting topic: fiat money. Bro, have you wondered how can a piece of paper hold so much value? I mean, the piece of paper itself, the money itself, cost less than $1. But when they write $100 on piece of paper, it's worth $100. So today we want to talk about what is actually fiat money and why we don't use something that has value like gold as a currency instead. So before we dive in concept of fiat money, let me give you a short history of money. So a long time ago, money didn't even exist. People use system called barter system. So let me give you an example. Let's say Boringo has milk and he wanted bread, and the Cedro has bread and he wanted milk. So they simply exchange bread and milk, and both of them are happy. So, but the barter system has no fixed value and it was so limited. So to solve this problem, people switched to a better system called commodity money, made of common commodities like salt, cowshell, and other items people thought that has value. So in India and China and Africa, people use cowshell as a currency. The historical fact is Europeans used to come in Africa to buy slaves using cowshells. So cowshell worked for a period of time, but as the economy kept growing, people needed a lot of money for a big transaction. And also, in some places, cowshell was so easy to find, like in the coastal region of Indian Ocean, was so easy to find, which made the inflation of cowshells. So, people to solve this inflation of cowshell, people switched to a better system, like in 600 before Christ, the kingdom of Lydia, in modern day you can call it Turkey, made one of the first coin. Why? Because coin was so shiny and durable and rare than cowshells. Gold and silver were so hard to mine, which made them have value. So this led to invention of gold coins, which were stamped by symbols to prove their value, like king's face or official says. But because gold is very heavy, you can imagine how it was uncomfortable to bring gold coins all the way. So to make things easy, people started using paper money. The first paper money appeared in China during the Song of Destiny. But in the past, paper money wasn't really paper money. It was type of receipt. So instead of carrying around gold coin, people stored their gold coins in the bank. In the bank gave them piece of paper represented the value of gold they stored. And that piece of paper worked as receipt. So, for example, if we had 10 gold coins and you store in the bank, and bank will give you a piece of paper saying this paper worth 10 gold coin. And if you want to go restaurant or bakery, you go to a baker and give him 10 your paper saying it worth 10 gold coin, and he give you a bread, and that baker have to go to the bank to trade it. So to trade for that paper. So this system is called gold standard. It means paper money is still tied to the amount of gold. You actually still buy and sell things using gold, but in form of paper to make it more comfortable. So this idea was so popular and spread in Europe. Eventually, in the 17th century, government and central bank got involved in and started printing paper money according to their gold reserve. But gold system was so hard to maintain during the major crises and wars, like in World War I and World War II. Many countries printed more money than they have in their gold reserve to fund their war effort, which led to inflation of their currencies. So, a long short story about 44 countries agreed to tie their currencies to the US dollar. Why? Because after World War II, the United States won the war, and at the time, the United States controls 70% of the world gold reserve. So the solution was made to have all countries tied their currencies to the US dollar, while the US dollar is tied to the US gold reserve. So, but the same problem happened again. The US dollar became the global currencies and it was so high demand. So, but the problem was the US gold reserve could not back that massive amount of money. Plus, the US government was at the time was involving in Vietnam Wars, Cold War, and other spending. So, listen carefully. This is the main reason I'm doing this video. In 1971, the US president at the time, Richard Nixon, just decided to give up the gold standard. So this event is called Nixon shock. So from that point, US dollar became fiat money and all other countries froze this fiat money system. So that was the quite history of money. So now we are going to talk about how does fiat money works. So the word fiat comes from Latin language, which means let it be done. So after money was no longer tied to the gold reserve, the money lost its real tangible value. So then the government declares this piece of paper worth $1, $10, or $100, which is like saying fiat, let it be done. Whether you like it or hate it, the government is one that controls the country, and government has the power to make fiat money works. So as long as the government is stable and strong, people will trust the government and its currency. For example, like United States is the strongest economy in the world, which will make the value of US dollar continue to have value. But countries like Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where they faced the crisis and hyperinflation, those people stop using their own currency. Because what's the point of having trillion of currencies if it keeps falling down and nobody wants it? So now you understand the history of the money and the concept of fiat money. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of fiat money. So the advantages of fiat money I can give you, it is cost effective, unlike the gold standard. Like the gold standard, the central bank needed the gold reserve to print money, but fiat money is easy and cheap. Central bank can print money as much they need. This gives the central bank the flexibility to maintain the economy. Central bank can print more money to lower interest rate or offer more loan to stimulate the economy. So of course, fiat money has disadvantages. As you know, printing too much money can cause inflation or hyperinflation, like what happened to Venezuela and Zimbabwean currencies. And also, fiat money value is entirely dependent on government trust. If government makes poor decision, people might lose confidence on them and the currency can quickly lose its value. So basically, fiat money gives the government and central banks flexibility, but it requires more careful management, or else it will cause a massive chaos in economy, like hyperinflation. So those are the what I can call advantages and the disadvantages of fiat money. Of course, there was more than those, but in this video I will keep things simple. So now we're going to talk about the future of fiat money. As you see, the money keeps evolving from barter trade to common commodities to metal coin to gold standard to the fiat money. Now you're wondering if money keeps evolving like this? Will the fiat money see its end? So the answer is nobody knows. But currently, cryptocurrency is said to be the replacement to the fiat money because cryptocurrency is more decentralized, meaning that cryptocurrency is not controlled by government or single central bank. And also some type of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin are so limited in supply, which means money will stay rare and variable, unlike the fiat money that can be printed in unlimited amount. Some countries like El Salvador already use cryptocurrency as their official currency, but many people use cryptocurrency as an investment rather than using it to buy things and sell things. Why? Because cryptocurrency is quite new and it has unstable volatile as you can see. So cryptocurrency is like buying a coffee for 0.001 Bitcoin today, and tomorrow you may need to pay 0.002 Bitcoin for the same damn coffee. This is what made people still use fiat money as money and cryptocurrency as investment. So as long as government still as long as people still have trust in government, fiat money will stay dominant. But if people start looking for other alternative like cryptocurrency, then the fiat money might see its end. So this is the end of my video. So if you want to see more topics like this, you can like, subscribe, share to your friends. So big man the wall. Ciao ciao.